I got to tell you, this next guy is one of my favorites. He really is.
Well, I know he's mad about you.
I just don't.
Oh, look what you did. Look what you did.
Don't even. I didn't even introduce him yet. He'll be in town at the Center for the Arts in Skokie on Saturday, March 14th. He was in Whiplash, in my opinion, the movie of the year. It's Paul Reiser. Paul, thanks for coming on, man.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
I gotta tell you, I absolutely love the movie Whiplash. J.K. Simmons.
How about that guy?
He's just so amazing.
And a very under celebrated Miles Teller, who was so great as the kid in that. And I think he was sort of outflashed by J.K., but he's such a great actor. It was such a great little movie made for $12. And it's all on the screen.
Why didn't the kid get nominated? He should have been nominated.
He should have been, right?
For an Academy Award.
And not only acting, but playing on drums. 90% of that was him.
I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, it was sort of overshadowed and underappreciated. But he's going to do just fine. He's in every... I just went to the movies the other day. 5 out of 6 trailers he was in. So next year is nothing but him.
Well, I got to ask you 2 things from the movie. Number 1, did you and J.K. Simmons see each other on the set because you were never in the scenes together?
No, we were never. We did bump into each other, and our kids went to school together, so I would see him. But no, we were never on screen. And he's a sweet guy, and people will be frightened when they see him now on the streets.
In the movie, the dad puts Raisinets in his popcorn.
Yes.
Do you do that in real life?
I don't. I'm against it, frankly. That's how bold a choice that was as an actor. That my real person could not eat a raisinette and a popcorn. But I know people who do, and they're very adamant about it. I, for one, enjoy. I'm going to be honest with you. I enjoy the salty with the sweet. But I would rather pop one in with each mouthful. I feel once you pour it into the popcorn, they sort of fall to the bottom and it's all lost.
I agree with you. I agree 100%.
That's why I signaled to him to mix it up, because the mixing is vital.
Now, did J.K. ever ask if you had farmer's insurance?
You know what he did? He would corner me during the breaks and ask me if I'm fully covered. Yeah, it's kind of wild to watch those commercials now. I go, he's such a pussycat here, but I just saw him beat up a kid.
He is. He's the meanest person ever in this movie.
You know, and the first time I saw that movie was last year at Sundance, and it was a big theater, about 1,200 people, and nobody knew anything about it. And to watch that audience, strangers would grab the arm next to them like they were watching The Exorcist, because they go, he's not going to hit this kid. Is he going to hit? Oh my God, he hit the kid! Oh,
right.
And you just can't believe, because there's no special effects, there's no creepy monsters. That's just a mean guy hitting a kid, and it's just brutal.
I had flashbacks from high school football, man. The coach just screaming in your face.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant thing.
Paul, you just mentioned Sundance. Do you do independent films? Do you like to do that? Is that a good process for you, or do you just like to go with the bigger films, or how does that work?
You know what? I have been the last couple of years, and suddenly it's gotten busy. Ironically, I was sitting home minding my own business for 10 years, and as soon as I put my foot back in the water and went out doing stand-up, suddenly everybody started calling. I'm doing a whole bunch of movies, some biggies and a lot of little indies, and they're great fun, you know, and there's not as much pressure on them, and there's a lot of, I think, a lot more innovation and creativity in the little ones. And, so I've been doing a bunch of those, and I got a couple of bunch planned over the next few months. And but the most fun, I got to say, none of them are as fun as doing stand-up. I'm loving being back on stage again, I got to say.
Really?
Yeah, I was, in my back of my mind, I started as a stand-up.
Sure.
That's all I wanted to do, and then I got lucky, and all this other nice stuff happened. But so I kind of got busy. When Mad About You got started, which is 20-some years ago, that's when I actually put stand-up. I didn't mean to, but I just kind of got busy and sidetracked. And in my head, I said, I'm going to get right back to that. And then it just took a while. But when I did, like 3 years ago, it was so surprising to me how natural it felt. You get a little rusty, and it took a while to get the muscle back. But the instant gratification, you don't get that anywhere else. TV, movie, you come up with an idea for a movie, you got to raise the money, you got to cast it, it's years.
Right.
Stand-up, you think of something at 4 o'clock, you tell it 4 hours later. You know what I mean? And you don't have to raise the money, you don't have to test group it, you just tell it. And so I'm having a great time, much more than I remember having the first time around.
We're talking with Paul Reiser, who will be in town on Saturday, March 14th at the Center for Arts in Skokie. And when you come in, I don't know if you're coming in Friday night or Saturday morning, you're going to notice something downtown. The river will be bright green that day because they dye it for the downtown Irish Parade.
Oh, I've read about that. I've known about that. Never did I imagine I would be there for that.
Well,
I will look forward.
Paul, it's always a shade of green.
Now let me
because,
ask you this: what do they do to get it back to the crappy shade of green?
Well, they put more bodies in it.
More bodies and more trash, fellas. More trash. There you go. That looks right.
Something you should know about the Chicago River: you never want to touch it. Ever.
Yeah, no, that was sort of self-understood.
Yes, never.
I've seen that river, and at no point did I say, you know what, I'm going to dive right in.
And there's going to be a lot of drunk Irish people that day, too.
Thank God, because there's not enough of that going around. And I'd like them to be at my show.
Isn't it interesting how Hollywood works? You started out, you played a husband in Mad About You. Then you played a dad. Now you're the dad of a college kid in Whiplash. I mean, when do you hit the nursing home?
Nursing home next. My two nursing homes is the next show I'm doing. My two geezers.
Do you ever talk to Helen Hunt? Are you
I
still
do.
friends?
And she asks about you. That's so funny.
I appreciate that.
Yes, she always asks, how are the guys doing? I do. I keep in touch with her, and she just wrote and directed a new movie coming out, I think, in next month.
This is the honest-to-God truth, because my wife gets the National Enquirer, the Star, Us Magazine. There's always a picture of Helen around this time of the year where she's in a bikini, and she's got a rock-solid body.
Yeah, you know why?
Oh.
I'm going to guess a lot of sit-ups. I have the exact same very tight set of abs, but I don't like to brag about it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't look as good in a bikini.
I don't know if I noticed that in Whiplash. Really?
Well, there's a quick, it's very subliminal. If you look in Whiplash, there's a picture on the wall of me in a bikini, and but we don't dwell on it because it would throw the picture out of whack.
I just remember you drinking wine at the table, the hug at the end, beginning,
yeah,
and
a lot of fatty
theater.
Foods in between. There's a big sausage hero in the middle.
As a matter of fact, you eat a lot in Whiplash. Come to think of it.
Listen. Anytime I'm not talking, I'm shoving food in my mouth. That's my secret to acting.
Yeah.
If somebody else is talking, have a sandwich.
And Paul, you mentioned the independent movies. You developed a half-hour series for Amazon TV. Is that right?
I did. I'm on one called Red Oaks, which we did a pilot, and then we're going to shoot this summer. But then I'm writing one myself, and that would be next year. So yeah, it's kind of cool suddenly to be able to say, Amazon. I'm doing a show for Amazon. It used to be I would just get gardening supplies and soap now and a book. Now comedy. You can get comedy.
Well, do you foresee any parts for, maybe a Lebanese guy with a big nose, or maybe, an overweight guy with a handlebar mustache?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but those guys are so hard to find. Where are you going to get something like that?
I could find them for you.
Find that.
No, really.
No, those guys. Listen, if only I could find such a person.
Right. I mean, you've been a writer all your life. I mean,
yes.
You've written many books. I've read.
But I want to write for you.
I'd appreciate that.
Well,
but,
yeah.
I mean, my point is, I watch a lot of cable TV and House of Cards on Netflix, and now you got Amazon TV, you got Google that's doing TV shows, Yahoo. I mean, as a writer, should be a very exciting time for you in Hollywood because everything's going to go back to your phones. We're going to watch everything on our phones.
Well, it's for writers and producers. It's absolutely terrific that there are all these new outlets. What makes it tougher is when you're trying to punish your kids. You can't say, no TV tonight. They go, I don't even watch TV. I go, you know what I mean, on your computer, whatever it is you're watching. Anything rectangular with pictures is going away. You have to be very specific now because nobody watches TV.
It's we use no electronics in our house.
Oh, they say you need a big cover. That's good. No electronics. So that means no blender, nothing.
Wait.
No electric toothbrush, nothing. Yeah.
No electronics after 7 unless, of course, the Blackhawks are playing, and sometimes we'll watch the first period.
Yeah, but only on a phone or a toaster. I watch everything on a toaster now.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I got to try that.
So let me ask you: you guys are up early in the morning. Are you going to be coming to my show Saturday night?
I would absolutely.
Can you be up that late?
I would absolutely love to come. Here's the thing: I go to Butch McGuire's every the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day. They have the Downtown Irish Parade, and we're there. I mean, if you don't mind me coming to your show, half in the bag.
You know what? Maybe you should skip this one. Maybe you skip this one. Look, I'll come around next time.
What?
Yeah. Because that's not something I want to picture.
Okay. Well,
But everybody else, there'll be a sobriety test.
Yes.
You can bring metal and sharp objects, but the sobriety will be screened very diligently at the door.
Are you in and out in Chicago, or you spend a few days here? How does that work?
I come in and out. As soon as I'm like Elvis. When the last joke, the laughter is just still resonating, I'm out of there.
Out of there.
No, I fly in that day and I fly out the next night. But you know what's been fun? I never did this when I used to go out performing, but I'll do a meet and greet afterwards and whatever. I'll sign anything. People have pictures, and I never did that. And invariably, people come over and they have some story about an episode of Mad About You that they loved, or a joke that they still do, or they saw some joke of it I did on TV, and I'm thinking, I got to leave the house more often. This is nice.
You got to get out and talk to your people.
I have to get out there. I've been, this will be, I think, my second week out of the house coming to you.
Well, and I mentioned this before the last time we had you on. Your books are so funny, and in couplehood, I'll never forget this, and my wife brings it up all the time because we both met it. We read it. Taking a shower with your spouse. One person really enjoys it, and then there's the other person where the water's not hitting them.
Yeah, you just got to move around quick enough so it's a blend.
Right. I like that.
Yes. Well, thank you for remembering that. But it's funny. I mean, I never, when you don't know what you do that lands out there. When people come over and tell you, it's really nice. And it's been sort of like getting together with old friends. These shows. I mean, even if I don't know the people, there's this connection. The people I haven't been out there, but it's sort of like when you haven't seen a friend in a bunch of years, you can hit the ground running, and that's what it feels like. So I'm looking forward. And your job, even if you're not there, you got to fill it. You got to send everybody down there.
I am. Yeah, we'll tweet it out. And people are listening right now. He'll be at the Center for Arts in Skokie on Saturday, March 14th. Mr. Paul Reiser. Paul.
And let me just mention this also.
Yes.
And this is a bit of interest. A little money back guarantee. Anybody who mentions they heard this show, this interview, if they come to the show and they're not completely satisfied, I'll come back next year and I'll take you to see somebody funnier. A lot of guys don't do that. I am that confident. I'll back it up.
And remember, no electronics after 7 o'clock.
No electronics, no talking, and no drunkenness and lewd behavior. Otherwise, have a good time.
Oh, I was going to show up to your show nude. I guess that's
You know
out.
what? Just sit in the back. That's all I would ask.
He can show up nude. I can't show up drunk.
All right, both of you. Be drunk and nude in the back.
Paul Reiser. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, guys.